friends and family. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Guess what's on the menu today at Tiny Kitchen? Big flavor. I am making pork chop casserole with a twist. Normally, this recipe, let me tell you, if you make this recipe and you don't tell anyone, people are going to think that you slaved over it. It is so incredibly easy, I can't even tell you. So what I have here is I just browned some pork chops that I had seasoned. And I normally season my meats and stuff and put it in the fridge, in the freezer until I'm ready. So these are huge though. These are my pork chops. Okay, I have already kind of browned them and stuff. And then what this recipe calls for, the original recipe, is 3 cups of rice and 2 cans of Campbell's beef consomme and 2 cans of French onion soup and 3 cups of long grain rice. Okay, really that is all that it calls for. You season your meat to taste however you like it. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. These I've already seasoned, so they're here. I've already browned them like I said, but the twist to this recipe is I added a can of green pigeon peas, Iberia. I've already rinsed my rice and drained the excess water. I rinsed my pigeon peas and strained them also. And I am going to mix it really well, and I'm going to lay it flat on this pan. It's important that it lays flat. Okay, so I'm gonna mix it right now. It is so hot in my kitchen right now, you guys. Oh, because I have the oven at 350, I'm sorry. My oven has been preheated at 350 so that I can, have it ready. So all I'm gonna do, hope you can see this really good. All I'm gonna do is I'm going to pat this on mine, just like that. See that? And put all my rice in here. Now, because these pork chops are so big, I may have to cut them so to make them fit properly. But this is all that you're gonna do. You're gonna make sure that, I'm gonna have to do it with my hand, that your rice and everything is nice. I should have done 1.5 cups, but I thought, well, I'll just do 2 cups, see what happens. You see how I did this? That's all. You want to make it that it's even all the way around. And then, you're going to place your pork chops on top. I'm going to see how I'm going to do that in a minute because they are big. So, give me a second. Let me grab my fork and do this. See, you're going to place them very gently. You want the sides that have the bubble. See this? Facing down, so that the juice doesn't get trapped there if you face up. So I'm going to do this. Place it gently here, like so. Oh boy, I don't know. Will I have enough room? And then I'm going to place this one too. And all you're doing is browning your meat because you want it to. You don't want it to be, not have any color. You don't want pale meat. I know I don't. And then you're going to, I don't know. Should I cut it? I don't know. I think I'm gonna cut it just to see if I can put it on this. Hold on. Well, those I gotta be careful because this pan is one of those non-stick pans, so I need to be careful. But I'm gonna have to cut it because I'm just gonna cut it. It's not fully cooked. It's gonna get fully cooked in the oven in a minute because you're gonna put it in the oven, cover it for an hour. At 350, you're gonna bake it. Ay, bendito. Okay, so take this off. Okay, like this. And then I'm gonna put this piece probably here, like so, and this piece here. I'm gonna turn it around. Ow, 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 it's hot. Ow, ow. Okay. So very important. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the soups over here because I want this. I'm going to take a little bit of the oil out because it's got a little bit too much oil. When you're browning your meat, You make sure your pan is hot. Do not add any oil because the pork chop renders its own fat, so you don't need to add any oil to it. And as you can see, there's quite a bit in here. So I'm going to take some of that out because I don't want too much. See that? I want a little bit, but I don't want too much in my dish. Look at that. Okay, so I'm taking this much out. Let me grab this can. This is the can that had the pigeon peas. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take 1 can of French onion. I'm gonna have to add a little bit extra because of broth, because like I said, I added 2 cups of rice. Had I just done 1.5 cups of rice, then I would have been good with 1 of each of these soups. Now, you don't have to do this. This is just me. Because I have sofrito, I'm gonna incorporate a little bit of my sofrito in here. You don't need it because this gives it enough flavor, trust me. I'm just gonna add it because I have it, quite honestly. So I'm gonna add some of this in here, like this. And then I'm gonna stir it a little. And what you wanna do is, when you are getting ready to add the liquid, you gotta be really careful not to disturb the rice so the rice doesn't pop up. So what I like to do is, I come here, oh boy, and I start doing, I don't wanna lose any of my juice, like this, slowly, all around. See that? And making sure that see that I get all that. And like I said, the twist to it is that I added the gandules, the pigeon peas in it. I've never done it like that before. This dish is so delicious. And if you want, you can even add mixed vegetables to it, to the rice, and make it, make it your own. Play with it. So this is what we got here. And I am going to have to add a little bit more. I want to make sure that the rice at the bottom gets moist. There it is. But I'm going to get a little bit of the broth. No. Only because, like I said, I have two cups of rice. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Get all the drippings from here. And this is going to be what you're left with. And what you want to do is, now we're going to cover it with foil. See that? That's all that you're doing. We're going to cover it with foil, and we're going to bake it for an hour. And for an hour at 350. I'm going to bring you back in an hour so I can show you. You can make a salad if you want with it. It's so delicious like that. You don't have to add any salt because the soups have salt. This thing is just amazing. The trick is you want to season your pork chops really nice and tasty. And the easiest way for you to do that is take a packet of Italian seasoning. You know me and my Italian. Just take a packet of Italian seasoning and some soy sauce and season it with that. And trust me, it's going to come out amazing. I'll bring you back when this thing is done in an hour. Okay, guys, the moment of truth is almost here. We have 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go. So I'm getting ready to check this. I will say though, sometimes you lift the meat up a little bit and you notice that it's not cooked all the way, so you need to put it back. But most of the time it's cooked already. Now remember that I did add a little bit of extra liquid. Actually, I added a little bit of chicken broth because I did 2 cups instead of the 1.5. Because you can break this recipe into half, because the recipe, like I said, it calls for 2 cans of beef consomme, 2 cans of French onion soup, 3 cups of long grain rice, and that's really all it calls for, and your pork chops, of course. Now, when I select my pork chop, I like them to have a little bit of fat in it, because if you choose the ones that don't have any fat, they tend to come out dry. So I would caution you with that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that it's a good idea. You can actually, excuse me, make this recipe without the meat and add whatever you want to it. You can do sausage, or you can do one with chicken and use chicken broth, the same kind of principle. But let's get ready to open this in a minute. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna have to come back up here like so. Hold on. I want this to fall off my counter because that's okay. Let's see. I'm gonna bring it out of here and put it on top of the stove. It's gonna be better that way. You get a closer look. Let me adjust the camera so you can get a closer look. There we go. Okay, and there we go. I think that's good. Now, when you're getting ready to lift this, be very careful so that you don't, there went my timer, so that you don't get the steam on your hand and get burned. It's happened to me before and that was no fun. So, I just use my fork and go like this. And I'll bring you in closer so you can see the outcome. Sorry guys, I had to set my tripod so that I can get you closer because I want you to see what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up my meat because I want to make sure that underneath is cooked all the way. But you're gonna see here how it looks. See that? So that tells me, you see, it's not cooked all the way. So that means that I have to, I gotta put it in a little bit longer. And that happens sometimes. So you wanna, what I do is I lift it up a little bit and then I put it back in for another 30 minutes or so until my rice is completely. And what ends up happening is if the pan is a little bit too small for the amount of rice, that will happen. So I'm gonna cover it up because you can see, I'm gonna show you up close that, and you wanna lift it gently because you don't want, the rice is not completely done and it's still pretty moist. So, and that has happened to me sometimes. It's nothing, you know, nothing out of this world. You just put it back in and get it going again, that's all. And then, so it's gonna take probably another 30 minutes. Oh, but look, you saw the bone fell out of the pot. Let me just cover it. I'm gonna put it back in for another maybe 15 minutes. I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what's up with this oven, but man, does it give me problems when I'm trying to bake something that it doesn't. My other one didn't do that. And this is supposed to be like, oh, a better oven, a better stove, a better this and a better that. That is horse radish right there. It is not. So, let me just put it back inside. I'm going to bring you back in. Hey guys, so it's all done. And I just want to bring you in to show you what your rice should look like. See? It should look like this. Done. No raw rice. That's what it should look like. Just ensure that when you bake this, if you're going to cut the recipe in half, do 1.5 cups of rice. Don't get crazy like I did here, and I did 2 cups, and the pan was too small for the amount of rice. So that's why it took 1 hour and 45 minutes for it to completely cook through. Okay? But just know that if that happens to you and your rice is not done, you just cover it back up and put it back in the oven. Don't hesitate to give this recipe a try. You won't be sorry. Your friends and family will be asking you for the recipe. Thank you for watching, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.